Hey, welcome everybody to the Battle Pirates Crib. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna figure out what's going on with the bounty ships before the show is over. It seems like a continually changing menagerie of crap. Um, but let me go ahead and introduce everybody. Magic Mike
Happy Wednesday.
and Derpy.
I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Okay, and we just now we got pirates. We were examining the need for some changes to the Harrower, particularly regarding whether the built-in weapon benefits from specials. We appreciate your patience as we investigate. In the meantime, please enjoy Bounty, and we will post an update as soon as one is available. Alrighty, so I don't know if that's going to be within the next hour or not. So we will see. Maybe some people are a little confused about what we're talking about, so we'll get to that and move forward. So let's go to the first slide, Mike. Fix an issue where, when stationary, Trencher's got a deflection buff. The Piranha does not appear to shred its deflections. So, all right. You want to explain this one? You got it?
I'm not quite sure what it means. I mean, the trencher does get a buff when it's stopped, and this makes it sound like the piranha was appearing to not was appearing. It was a visual thing that it was appearing to not shred it, but that can't be what it means because you couldn't see that working.
Yeah. How would it not appear to do that if it wasn't really? That can't be one of those ones where it's only a visual glitch, correct?
Yeah, correct. It sounds like the.
I mean, because
Stop trencher, my stop trencher still died against piranhas in some cases, so that can't be it either.
Yeah. So maybe the word appear. I don't know. I don't know what that means, and we've been having a hard time getting complete answers out of Kickside the last day.
Or incomplete answers.
Yeah, or correct answers. All right. Fix an issue where debuff didn't go away after moving out of the field. It's interesting. It's only an HTML5.
Yeah.
And it adds a beta to it, which is interesting.
So we went backward. We were on soft launch. Now we're back to beta.
I guess so. I don't know. Because before it just said HTML5. It didn't say beta.
Well, this one actually is one that I passed up. I'm sure other people did too. But like for your Mutineers, you drive into that little, or your Everest, you drive into the ice field, you get that down arrow, red arrow debuff. Then once you're out of it, the effect goes away. It's working as normally, but the little red debuff arrow is still on there, so you can't tell when you're actually being debuffed or not.
Okay, so potentially that is a visual glitch?
That is only a visual glitch, even though their description makes it sound like it was and was more than that. So
okay, so it should be where debuffs do not appear to go away.
Yeah, I think they put the word appear in the first thing when it shouldn't have been there, and not in the second one when it should have been there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I don't want to go back to a couple months ago when it kept on saying it does not appear that anyone's in charge, but they're getting me back to it. So let's move to the next one. All right. Whoops. One back. I think you double click. There we go.
I didn't try to.
All right. We have Bounty 36, and then next week we have a special event that's going to be Canadian, CM Diary, and monthly check-in. One more click. Alrighty. Right now we're on 923, which there's nothing really going on with PvE. This is the PvE calendar, and then we're going to have a special activity, which is supposed to happen, which says non-applicable. So whatever that means.
So are we having a special activity or not next week?
I'm assuming we are, because we do have No, I don't know if it's going to be. Yeah,
It
next
won't.
week.
It won't be pillage.
No, we're going to skip pillage. We'll have the special activity for 9:23 until. Let me look at my calendar again. 9:23 until the 30th, and I don't know what's going to happen the next week either.
So,
And because pillage doesn't start till October 7th, according to this calendar, which is the
what's
following
going to
week.
happen the Tuesday, September 29th? There's nothing going on that week from Kickstarter that we've been told.
Well, also, if you look at this calendar, there's nothing happening next week either. So,
Well,
if you look
there
at
is October 6th, October 7th. That's pillage.
well, October 7th is so, but we have okay, yeah. So it's yeah, it's I don't know. Let's see if we can find anything out in the new improved PVE calendar, which is the next click. All right.
Well, that tells us October and November, but not the rest of September. So
Should
there
both
you
of
go.
those be on there?
Yeah. That's,
Okay. Because I only clicked it once. It clicked twice. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine, Mike.
All right. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna have the Zealot Everest pillage. We don't really know what's going to happen in the meantime between, I don't know what's going on here. And then we'll have the siege where we use the Gladius to win the Photon ECM. This is the last raid for the Gladius to be the principal ship, and then things go as normally scheduled. I don't know. And then they have, it appears to be a, well, now we have the assault hull. Let me see. Okay, so they're moving. Last time we had, okay, this past, I'm just trying to figure out, because normally we had bounty, because they should just make this just a regular calendar and include bounty in here as well, because that would be the only insertion in this calendar that would help people make sense out of it.
Yeah, and bounty looks like it's scheduled for October 28th, and then in November scheduled for November 24th.
Yes, but I was more because they're calling the Assault TLC, which is I did ask Geely day before yesterday, what do they call? Because I wanted to get a name for it that we could use, because a lot of times it'd be nice to be on the same page as far as there are like the really relevant TLC, like last raid cycle was Mutineer and the Bounty. Now it's sort of whatever, and that's what they're referring to. Whatever the next one is going to be in the Assault TLC. Before, this past week it was snuck into the VXP weekend, but now it appears to be back to the Bounty.
Yeah, their standard is running in Bounty for whatever reason. They moved the Sword Legion earlier this month. No idea why.
Yeah, I have my theory. I have my theory because I think if we had the flag at X1, it would just run over those targets with no problem whatsoever with the built-in weapon just laying waste to everything, because it was a fairly easy TLC if you had anything at
you had one ship at X1, that's all you needed.
Yeah, because it would just obliterate the targets. And if you were leading with your tank, because people had higher evade on their Gladius mains, you would just be obliterating them right away. And there was a potential that you could run it with one ship, right? That's what I was thinking. You could just run it with your flag if it was at X1.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Your normal ship at X1 was good enough, but you could have done with a flagship.
Yeah. So, Alrighty, well, let's move on. All right, Bounty 37.
Where's 37?
Look.
Oh, there we go. I see
Look,
it. I had
look
to turn my
close.
head
There
sideways.
you go.
Yeah. There's the 37. So
Good
they
one.
ran it all the way to 37, thinking I wouldn't be able to find one. But Franco helps out. Franco gave me the idea. He sends me suggestions for every bounty number, and he sent me one, but it was the 37 was too low res, so I found this one, and I know it's sideways, but it fits better with the aspect ratio of the slides.
You boomers don't know how to rotate a PDF.
No, but if I rotated it,
You
it's
just
not.
don't know. It's okay. It's okay.
No, I know how to rotate it, but it doesn't
I
fit
don't
the
know.
aspect ratio of the slide. So, alrighty, let's move on.
Next month will be interesting.
Yep. Alrighty. We have the new Conqueror flagship, the Harrower. It is. It's going to cost you
An arm and a leg.
14 shards, and we'll get to the price of that a little bit later. So it is very similar to the Overlord Carrier, both in the cost and bounty, and the base build time of 15 days, 5 hours. Is it any different at all?
I thought the Overlord had a higher base build time, but a similar total build time.
Okay, I'm not sure. It's just a long ass time. So yeah, let's go through this. It is a submarine.
Do you want the English definition or the reading the stat block definition?
Well, I was going to go through it. I mean, looking through this, you would never guess what it does. I mean, it is a submarine that deep dives similar to your ghost crawler. And at that point, it can't be detected, can't be fired at. I'm not sure that it matters, but it cannot be impacted by, let's say, a portal aura. I know it can't be impacted by the subsurfacing cav aura, but let's say a combat speed reduction or things of that nature.
It's my understanding when this is deep dive, it's not affected by any auras. So the Overlord carrier aura won't work on this thing when it's deep dive. The cab auras, the service subs won't work on this thing. The slowdown, none of that's going to work on this when it's deep dived.
Okay, so it's basically just disappeared off the map. It's gone through the back of your computer, and it's no longer inside of your space to impact.
Yeah, you can't touch this. It can't touch you while it's moving.
Okay. And it has a base combat speed of 24. It's cloak efficiency of 0 because it doesn't need it. It does its own thermal imaging for, I guess, to go after some of your defensive ships, maybe.
So it can see your ghost crawlers, yeah.
No, not your ghost
Or
crawlers.
see the enemy gatekeepers, rather.
Yeah, the gatekeepers. All right, here's where it starts to get a little confusing. When you take a look at the Harrower's Descent is the first one. I've taken this information from the game, and I just double checked it to see if it's been updated. It does not appear that it has. It shows a cav strength of 3,000, a duplicate aura cap of 1, does not show a range, and it is a friendly aura. So basically, this, you see what's written here, but basically the way this works, it's a friendly aura. So what it does is when the ship stops, it surfaces the ship. Did I hear some sonar pings in the background? I
You
swear.
can describe it as that if you wanted to.
Okay. I thought that's what I heard. And so do not get this confused with this will not surface the base defender gatekeeper. This is merely put in there to show that it surfaces the Harrower itself.
And this is so it's a friendly aura that only surfaces friendly ships, and it may even be only restricted to the Harrower, is what you're saying.
It's like the subjugator?
Yeah, but when it stops, it surfaces.
Yeah.
But I mean, but why is this? This is causing a lot of confusion. One, because the end game doesn't say when the ship stops, this occurs. It just sort of acts like it's constantly working. So this needs to be cleared up and rewritten, and potentially just eliminated. If there's an understanding across everybody that it's unless there's some weird mechanic I don't understand, that this just surfaces when it stops. That that's much easier than this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
eight or nine
what
lines.
you're saying is this thing? It's deep dive invincible while moving, and
Yes.
when it's stopped, it surfaces.
Yes. Yes, but that's not reflected here. I'm trying to, I'm trying to get across to people that are read this originally that there's reason to be confused after you read this, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I have, no idea, why it would do this. It would just be nice if it's. Where would you put this? I mean, would you put it in special? I think I would do it as a positive thing. Do it as in a positive way that explain that it deep dives, explain that it remains deep dive until it surfaces when you stop, and do something like that. Because this Harrower's descent does not really. It's not a descent. It's an ascent, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
You're right. It's this thing, as I said in the pre-show, this is not written with any as an effective way to communicate information to the target audience, which is the players of your game.
Yeah. So the plan is to knock down gates, then drive this thing to the back of the base and kill everything. No, not at all. That's it's part of it. It's part of it.
We haven't gotten to the fun stuff yet.
Yeah, the plan is to knock down the gates with other ships, then drive to kill the base guard.
Because when this thing is moving, it can't shoot.
Yeah.
So, and it cannot go through like a bastion seawall portal while it's moving. So you have to take those out with some other ships.
Yeah. It is very confusing, James, and I still don't think Kixeye really understands what it does at this point, based on reading Discord. So basically, this is just there. So it's not a dumb question because it's been incredibly poorly presented to us, and
that's an understatement of the year.
Yeah. So basically, Harrow's Descent is just showing that once the ship stops, it will surface. And then, according to Kix Braden, once it reaches a combat speed of 18, it will start to submerge again. Whatever that means.
I was just going to ask you, so when it starts to move, does it immediately go down? And because I can't see it myself on here.
But yeah,
you just said it.
Yeah, I just said at a combat speed of 18. But I didn't realize that these things had acceleration. So I'm not sure.
It's not listed on here what the criteria is to get this thing to deep dive.
Okay.
We've been told it does it in under 5 seconds and does it when it gets and when you start moving above a combat speed of 18 or maybe 16 was the number.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay. Now we just get from Braden. Only the wrecking ball is unaffected by buffs. So, which agrees with what we have here in the bottom right-hand corner. All right, the built-in wrecking ball cannon does damage of 500,000 with a salvo of 10, which might sound maybe semi-okay if it was general purpose, but in reality, which is not written in the game as far as the stat blocks, this only impacts walls. Only walls are impacted by the wrecking ball, which I guess you could sort of understand, but wrecking balls work on buildings as well. Yeah.
There's a video you could watch with a wrecking ball in it.
Yeah, I think we had that one. So, well, no, I think that was well. There's multiple ones, but yeah, that one. The ones I'm thinking of, because we did do one in the show. It wasn't really a wrecking ball, but it was like a wrecking ball. Do you remember when we did that? I forget what we were trying. Oh, it was as far as the some of the new armors, as far as things swinging, the pendulum swinging too fast. Let's see. The depth charge will easily take out OC in a few volleys, but then the build seems pretty useless. Yeah, we're still gonna get that. You're skipping ahead. All right, so basically the way this works is we have a wrecking ball cannon, which does ballistic damage, is doing, as far as deflection damage, they're doing 50,000 per salvo with a reload time of 30. And the composite walls have a ballistic deflection of 55K, is that correct?
Yeah, so your composite wall has a deflection of 55,000 and a health of 65 million. Now, it's my understanding that this weapon is supposed to do 10 shots that each do 10 million damage. That's not what the stat block says, but that's supposedly how it's supposed to work. And apparently each projectile has pierce. So basically, you shoot at a ship behind a wall and you take down all the walls between you and the ship with one volley. That does a total of 100 million damage.
Okay, but there's no... I mean, how did you reconnoiter this?
That's what Braden's saying on Discord, which you shouldn't have to go on Discord and ask the question from the designer of the hull to figure out how the damn thing works.
Yeah. I mean, it should be explained in some other way. And he keeps on changing his mind on. I mean, yeah. The wrecking ball only deals damage to walls. That's what he's saying right now. So it is. This should be in the game in some way. It's very, very confusing. Yeah, it's not explained. I don't know what the BO what does that mean? Does anybody know what BO description means? I don't know. Oh, blueprint? I think is O next. Okay, BP. Okay, that's BP description. I'm sorry. So that's the way that works. Maybe. So the guess is if there was an attack stack block in here, there would be some sort of
plus 200,000% wall damage.
Okay, which is not here. So
it's not here. It's a hidden number that just doesn't. There's no way for people to know.
Yeah.
Hence I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah. Well, before we decide if people should get this or not, let's go over to the weapon, which is the next one. All right, the Iconoclast depth charge. This is locked to the Harrower hull. You cannot use it on anything else. You can put 3 of these in the Harrower hull. It only has 3 weapon slots. Has a range of 60, damage of 5 million. It can be buffed by specials, as far as I would expect. It's a reload time of 20, which I can assume just through ranking would go down to 4, and with additional specials become much lower. It has negative, is it one? It's 1 billion. Nope. Negative 1 billion wall damage and building damage. It might have been simpler. It does not heal. It would probably be simpler if this was just a 0, or null or something, because it does not heal. So basically, this weapon is used to kill ships, but weirdly, is there anything that extends range of depth charges or concussive? Derpy? No, Derpy walked out of the room, it appears. So this appears that it could work quite well. I do not know why it has a visible range of 20. It does not fire while it's submerged. So it is tricky the way that they've put this together. It's a good thing the store doesn't open up for another 24 hours, so people can get an idea of exactly what is going on with his both the weapon and the special prior to purchasing it. So, am I missing?
Seen a 1 billion number anywhere ever?
Well, but it's meant to imply 0, and so that's confusing.
Whatever damage you will be doing, it says it does 5 million damage, and after everything's done, you take away 1 billion from wall damage and building damage, meaning it does 0 damage to wall, 0 damage to building. It only damages ships. This might be tweaked and put on the hull instead of the weapon, which doesn't matter because you can only put this. Which doesn't matter to the weapon because you can only put this depth charge on the actual hull. But it's to prevent people from putting some other sort of weapon on the Harrower and using that to take out the whole base from behind. The idea is to have the Harrower using this, and that only shoots ships, only does damage to ships. If the ship's behind a wall, well, then you have your wrecking ball to get through that wall.
Yeah, which could take you, as written, could take you until the end of time to get through a wall, maybe even longer. But yeah, because sometimes with this negative number, like I would just wish they put this 0, because is there a way besides percentage increases to increase damage?
Damage equals 0.
What?
Damage equals 0.
Yeah. Yeah. If it just said 0 and 0, there's no way to increase damage besides percentage increases of I have 345% building damage increase. It's still 0. So I don't understand the -1 billion.
Just thinking with no knowledge whatsoever of how you program, maybe they had to use a number like that to get what they were looking for.
If it was 0
billion, just blows me away. I don't get it.
I mean, as a coding thing, you just put in building damage equals 0, wall damage equals 0, and that should override everything else before that.
Would hope so, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, because I thought it was
I don't know. I just thought that was a huge number. We've never seen a number that big before, minus or plus. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the idea. It's going to be bigger than everything else, so you couldn't possibly ever get this doing damage to buildings or walls.
Mm-hmm. But as far as you can't even damage a building or wall with 0 either.
Well, yeah, there are multiple ways to arrive at the solution. They just chose a confusing one to display.
All right.
Well, maybe you could multiply it by 10. That's 0. Never mind.
0 times 10 is 0.
I'm just trying to make a funny there. That didn't work. Okay.
All right. And the visible range of 20, visible range only shows up on weapons that are fired underwater, and this is when you can see them approaching. This is not an underwater weapon. It's never been shown for anything besides torpedoes, as far as I know, and should be really, there's so many things that are just send people down a bad path with just weirdness on these blueprints. It's just not. So just ignore the visible range and ignore the whole Harrower's descent, and hopefully before the store opens and maybe on the show on Friday, we'll have to update the slides as far as
Hefe will be pointing the build to see how it works, and he'll be showing you it in all the top bases.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, so let's move on. All right. The Trencher U1 upgrade. This is available as far as kits and bounty. If you take 14 million plus in armor point damage, you berserk. This basically, I think you can get to 4 if you have the ship fully armored up.
Nope, it was changed to 14 million instead of 13.75, so you could only ever get 3 off.
Okay, because it shows 13.93. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, okay, so you can get 3 off, but basically, okay, you get an extra armor slot, and the built-in. So after it's like a third dead, you stun everything within a range of 50 for 2 seconds. Is that it?
Yeah. So you get to when your health hits like 74% and then 48% and then like 23%, it triggers you have a 50% chance of that ship right there, that one ship. You have a 50% chance at it stunning everything within a range of 50 for 2 seconds.
Okay. So we have range. Okay, why is there radio? Why is there radio?
I was asking that question myself. Half the step block is useless and is redundant and confuses you.
Yeah, and why is splash and range put up?
Why is there accuracy on it and a splash on it and a reload time and then more reload time, more range, more splash? It doesn't make sense. It's not simplified. It's not written from a technical perspective of communicating the necessary information to the user.
Okay. So assuming it just, basically all I can get out of it is that it, for 1 second, it's going to stun things for 2 seconds, considering, you gave the percent health, percent damage to the trencher. Does this feel, because I do not like the berserks, because especially within PvP, because as far as you don't really know when they're going to happen.
Yeah, it's the trencher already has a lot to do with chance and evade and accuracy and criticals and stuff. Adds on another random generation element of this thing will go off and will stun enemies. Now they can resist it if they have stun resistance or probably the Ion Storm Accelerator, but this should help a little bit in some situations of stunning the enemy turrets and or ships. Is it going to help with what I would say is the trencher's weakness in that it can't kill ships very well? I'm going to say no. Is it a must-have upgrade? I'm going to say no. Is it going to help as opposed to hurt? Yeah, it will help a little bit, but I'm not going to rush to do these things.
Okay. Alrighty. Let me check if we have anything else. I don't know that we. Oh yeah, we still got one more slide, Mike. All right, bounty store. Again, 9,000 for per shard for the Harrower. The same for the overload carrier. Both of these ships require a 14 total shards. The Iconoclast depth charge, um, unlimited weapon at 15K. Do we know how many upgrade kits we need to get?
Yeah, it's 200 per hole. You need, or were you were answering that, not asking that?
Yeah. How many total? Yeah, for the overload, that's 14. Nathan says it only stuns halls, not turrets. Can we go back a step?
The stat block to me reads like it should stun.
There we go.
Reads
Yeah.
like it should stun both. All enemies.
Stun time is 2 seconds. Usually refers to ships versus buildings is usually a separate thing. If you take a look at a pinch rocket, it'll have 2 different times, and stun time usually refers to ships. So if you have any other knowledge on this,
so you think it just affects ships?
Not me. Nathan. Yeah, Nathan thinks it only stuns hulls, not turrets, which makes even less sense because it says versus buildings 2 seconds, and it's not out. So let's move ahead because that doesn't make a lot of sense. But I did have the question of, do we have or a guess as far as, because I haven't been upgrading too many PvP ships.
My guess on build time or upgrade time is 10 days. Same as the Warhound.
No, the number of kits.
Oh, it's 200 kits needed. So you need 1,000 total, which is how many is on offer.
Okay, for 5 ships. Okay, let's go back to the. Let's go back. Okay, we're looking for. It only stuns. Okay, the class description has a 50% chance. Wait, okay. Triggers an EMP launcher that has a 50% chance of triggering a. But so many. Okay, I see what you're saying. So many things have been written wrong. I have no idea what to believe anymore. I understand what you're saying, James. I do not know. Everything that we've run across associated with this release has been wrong, and conflicting information has been provided on Discord from the designers and from community manager, and everything's been. So I would not bet on anything at this point. So I'm sorry, Mike. Can we go forward one more? So you can also get the Overlord carrier, which is the Defender, which is previously been shards have been made available last bounty, and also during the last raid. You need 14 for completion. There are 2 new skins, and I don't know much else. And then we have the new armors for 14,000 each available. Is there anything else that anybody wants to point out about the bounty store?
Let's see. Well, there's the Piranha. If you still want that thing, I wonder if they've included Punch Drive system, because they did add that late into the last raid, and it's a PvP special, so I would hope it will be in there. And I don't know if it is. I don't necessarily want to scroll through the whole prize menu, but I would hope they have that in there. They probably don't.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I am going to, as opposed to read it out loud, Julie has provided a update in Discord, which I am going to put directly on top of this slide, Mike. Give me 1 second. Okay. And all right, you can hit refresh, and then everybody can see what we're talking about. Okay. Captains, here's a quick
Sorry.
update on the Harrower questions. The Wrecking Ball has a base damage of 50k with a wall damage multiplier of 200. Not in the game.
Not
So,
200%, 200,000. Or is that just two?
well, I
Doesn't
guess you
matter.
can multiply it by 200.
Yeah.
Okay. The wall damage multiplier does not apply to the base damage. Does not apply to the base damage. And specials and ranks will not affect the stats. Does not apply to the base. What does that mean? The base damage has a
What
base
this
damage of
means,
50k. Has a wall multiplier of 200. I mean, because we're multiplying the 50k by the 200, but the wall damage multiplier doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Does apply. I'm sorry. That could have gone away because I would assume it does not. Of course, it applies to the base damage, and special will not affect the stats. This means the damage it deals to the walls is actually 10 million per salvo. The shots are piercing, which means they will travel through the first wall they hit with a total of 10 salvos. This is more than enough to blast a hole in the walls, despite them having 65,000 armor and 55k deflections. Thanks again for your questions and patience. So, I guess that answers. Showed up prior to the store opening. That explains some of the questions. And if you read Discord or watch the show, maybe you'll figure it out. But it should be in the blueprints, and should have, So,
yep.
What ships can you use in Bounty? I haven't done so many. I'm curious. Yeah, you can use any PvP ships. I don't know. Are you asking which ones to recommend, or Conquer? Well, I guess not. Oh, he's cool with that. Conquer hulls only. So there we go. I guess the other thing to talk about is what's going on with the Everest, right? Have you? I know, Derpy, you've done some experimentation, and Mike, you've done some experimentation with the new flag and whatnot. What does everybody think? Is there any reason to run through anything or whatnot?
I think you need at least one ship with high velocity rounds with a bunch of gills on there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Could you potentially get away in the 160, 170 with strike system 5 and all? Yes. In the 180, I don't think so.
Okay.
I've been just trying to get that 160 down to what I've seen it capable of being, and I just can't quite get there, but it's acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the 7 minute range with one pinch. I'm in the 7 minute range with one pinch.
Yeah, which it's not
acceptable.
Yeah, it's acceptable, except for the fact that it's not going to last that long.
No,
because I sent you one where I did it for less than 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like incredible.
Go off.
But no, but it's the 160 is not going to last for a while. So I think after this first week, I'm gonna because I don't have any urge to do bounty, so I'll probably start hitting the higher level targets above the 160 and see how my build works associated with that. I think I have a lot of similarities as far as my flag with what you have, Derpy, except I don't have the subaquatic.
Did you go for countermeasure loaders 4 or the hydroatomizer nozzle?
Hydroatomizer.
I'm thinking about changing back to countermeasure loaders 4. Honestly, the range debuff is
Mm-hmm.
not great.
using a pinch, I can get all the way to the back end with 0 damage. And then it's that last rocket, or is it a rocket?
Yes,
Missile.
the
That
brimstone.
missile. Yeah, that last one is what does it to me. So I can get all the way there. Not every time, but if I do it right, I can get all the way there with no damage, because I was doing it like going in, coming out, seeing how bad it was hit, blah, blah. Not repairing, just to see what happened. And I went into the very end with 0 damage. Ended up with like 7 minutes, 7.5, 7:30, 7:20. So it's like, I was very careful not to get hit by the ship. So it's like all coming from that brimstone. One missile hit, one hit from the brimstone gives me 3.5 minutes damage, I think. Because I took
So one ship.
to repair to the fleet. Because I went in.
Are you bunched together or are you spread out?
Yeah, no, I'm driving stack.
Okay.
So
Well,
I accidentally crossed the line and one launched, and I said, "Oh shoot!" So I got the heck out of the way, and it hit, and then I retreated just to see, and it was 3 minutes 50 or 3:35, something like that.
okay. Do you want to run through hitting one, or are you?
I can
Yeah.
try. I mean, unless you want to do it, Derp.
I was
I
planning on it, but
What? Well, I was thinking that you might be able to, because he's having questions about what to do towards the end. I've talked, either way, I'm just thinking that you might, there might be, we could do both. I was just thinking that it might promote more questions, if Mike did it first, that way.
let's go for that.
Okay, I'm the least best driver, so I mean that'd be. So you're done with the slides?
Yeah, unless they come up with something that explains all the problems they're having.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay, it started again. I was going to say. HTML5, folks.
It's the way of the future. Yeah, we only have 2 months and 7 days until it's got to work all the time.
Yeah, and it'll work 100%, right?
They've been making improvements. I'm not.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, but I thought there was something wrong with my computer this morning when I logged in the game and tried to hit some targets, and it was like I wasn't loading and whatnot. And I was like, oh, they reloaded me into HTML5. So. Yeah.
Well, they did change it back over because I had it on Flash, and they did change it. There are no 160s. It would appear that there are no 160s available at the moment.
They haven't fixed that spine issue. They're all still sharing one spot.
And maybe it's Bounty that's causing it. I don't know. Let's see if. I don't see a 160. I think we're SOL at the moment.
Well, just got to keep looking, bouncing across to different sectors, and we don't want to play. We don't want to play find the target. We want to play hit the target.
Let's see if. Hey. So the locator doesn't freaking work, but I'm sorry, doesn't work, but the Forsaken Mission.
The Forsaken Mission locator
works.
does.
Yeah. Okay. So I can't guarantee that I'm going to do this right, but I'll guarantee that I'll do this. Is Jeff back? Okay. Well, and there's your slowdowns still there.
Are they? I can't see them.
The red?
That's the pink. That's one of the auras on it. That's the built-in aura, I think.
Oh, it's built. I don't remember seeing it. Okay. I thought it only came from the ice when you got in the ice.
Now, I usually tend to pinch the second one.
And I used to do that, and
But you switched over and
yeah.
thought it was better?
Well, it's because I was taking some coaching, and they've also made well, maybe it's HTML5, but now I don't have the black lines on the sides. Maybe it's the HTML5. So I don't know that it matters, but let's just do this one because that's the way I've been doing it recently.
Yeah, that works. And you're right. I don't think it really matters too much. It's probably better to pinch this one anyway because you have more things shooting at you.
You're going to do it right at 0, or else you're going to take a shot. It might still. I don't know.
Sometimes I find it helpful to move closer towards it even after your initial shot, so that way you're look, it didn't get one off. There you go. That because if you're closer, it has a shorter flight time. So maybe the last salvo hits slightly earlier.
Yeah.
I like to move my ships a little to the right here, so the mountains block the one that's currently firing.
This guy?
No, the vulture missile that's shooting at you right now.
That one. Yeah.
Because if you move them where the mountains block it, it can sometimes. It usually only gets 1 or 2 projectiles off.
You can sneak one through there.
Yeah. I'm not sure why that turret doesn't show up anymore.
Oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah, it looks like you got a little bit left of help left on that top vulture that's going to stay there.
Yep.
I have to try and
retarget that to keep that. I tried to get that line on.
Oh, you can still hit it from there.
How did you come on?
It's called shaky fingers on the buttons.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
I didn't.
Have you noticed? And what is the cause of sometimes when these rings disappear?
It's if you hover over it and then move away again. That's what I've been seeing, at least prior to this week.
Okay, because I've had like the back one, which I haven't even looked at, just disappears for no reason.
I think that might have been changed or behaving differently. But if you hover over it right now and then move off it, and you don't shift click it, it goes away.
So if I jump out now, they should be very close to 0 damage.
Yeah. So what I do is I park my ships close to that mountain where your mountain and that green ring intersect, right about there.
Yeah.
A little bit more forward. And then, see, what you don't want to do is you don't want to go in range of the Gore Saber. So you can't go too close to that.
Right.
I select a ship first, one that I would say has no damage on it, probably. And you can do ship 1 first if you wanted to, or ship 2, whatever. And click that one.
I think they're all good.
Yeah, click a spot fairly forward, and so it moves in a straight line, almost a straight line, and it's going to stay right about there would work, and so it stays out of range of the Gore Saber. And then half a second after that, I click the right arrow key on my keyboard, and then click again, a little bit closer, and then the third one a little bit closer.
You send them all one at a time, then.
Yeah.
To that same point, though, right?
No, a little bit closer every time.
A little bit closer, like this way?
No, towards closer to your ship. So there's the first one. There's the second.
So
Yeah.
you keep them spread.
okay.
All right.
And just make sure they don't go in range of the gore saber.
Okay.
And then once the gore saber's dead, you can click on the brimstone and move towards that. And then sometimes you can go back and manually and adjust all the ships to move a little bit further apart once they are all attacking once they're all attacking the brimstone.
Okay. Hefe, you were going to say something?
Yeah, the way I do it, which I'm not sure is better or worse, is I will select ship number 1. I'll hit the S button, and then I'll use the arrow key. I'll give it a little bit of pause after the first one, and then I will keep on scrolling through the ships, hitting the S key. So they basically are attacking the gore saber.
So no mouse involved. Okay. Until.
I'm not saying this the right way. Do what Derpy said first. I'm just explaining the way I do it. And then once the gore saber appears like it's about dead, then I disperse those ships again, because I no longer have to worry about because the gore saber has rockets that are not counterable and will do explosive damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I create an arc around the missile. I don't know. It's just different ways, but
Okay. Let's see what happens here.
I don't want to confuse you on this one. So
let's see what happens. I'll go with the first instruction, and then
okay.
Maybe we can try again.
Yep. Nice. And it's got to actually shoot at the brimstone. It's got to shoot at the gore saber. This needs to be a tad bit closer. I'd put all of them closer so they're all shooting. I'd select everything, hit S. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're almost in range. Now spread them out in range of the brimstone. Yep, something like that is what I go for.
Okay.
If a little bit quicker on the clicking on spreading them out, and they were actually in range of the gore saber first, it'd probably be take a minute or two off your damage.
I still missed something here.
But I think you did 8 minutes.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, it's probably my normal 7.
7.5.
But I did screw up, so took some.
Well, you took explosive damage. You took explosive damage though.
Yeah, it's because I screwed up. I got too close.
Okay.
I think because
because the way you're built, you shouldn't be taking mortar damage.
No, I had many times with 0 damage for explosive.
Oh.
I can do an instant and try again if you want, or Derpy can do it. Either way.
Yeah, Derpy, if you want to run through, because I don't think that was what you want to run through that.
Yeah,
it wasn't executed properly. That's for sure.
That finishing step that you had, because I'm curious about the finishing step on the 160 as well, because I do mine for easy driving, using the S button, and then just the scrolling between ships, and then break them up after they've killed the gore saber.
I honestly just auto the whole thing now, but it'll be an interesting challenge to drive it again. We'll have to see if I take any explosive damage from something.
Yeah, especially your advanced age.
I think that S key right arrow, S key right arrow, S key right arrow would help my confusion on the keyboard. And then when the gore saber is about gone, then I just target the brimstone. Or do I have it wrong?
Yeah, but that's why it's just simpler. It's simpler to explain. I'm just not sure if it gets, better results. So
we'll find another one in case you want to do it again, if we have another one. You weren't there when we were looking, but the locator, you can't find a 160, but you can use the Forsaken Mission locator and find a 160.
Yeah, I was.
Now it's spinning, so.
Okay.
I got the last one available.
Okay, right there. Now the white ring went away.
It's because I hovered over it and then off.
Okay.
I shot once. You missed it. Yeah.
Okay. And you're.
Yeah, so it got one shot off there and did damage. So I went a little bit early. But if the ring at the start it's selected, if you hover over one and then move off it, it goes away.
Yeah, normally what I do in that part that you just went through is I will aim at that first vulture missile and let it stop and get one set of one volley of mortars out. Then I move in, and then I aim at the brimstone afterwards.
Well, does the brimstone shoot at you at that point?
No, because I've pinched it.
Well, the pinch doesn't seem to last very long when I do it.
Well,
but I guess if the timing works out for you and you're able to do that.
Yeah, because they don't fire at me.
You got to go right as it's hitting zero. I mean,
yeah, and I think you were the way your ships were organized. You were zigzagging around stuff.
I was moving them apart from each other because it had fired a shot off at me, and I was trying to unstack so only did damage to one of them.
Okay.
It's looking good for another target here.
But before this, you had not hovered over that, right?
Well, I messed it up when I hovered over the first one.
Okay. So if you hover over one, it impacts both.
That's what I'm not sure.
I was clicking on it.
No. I'm just trying to figure out that one. Okay. So you're waiting for the fire fields to subside at this point, I assume, right?
Yeah, it's usually not in this spot, but
for that ring, I was clicking on the darn thing and then going back to my target, like really trying to do it really quick so that it didn't affect anything, and then the ring will stay. So if you click it once and then go back and target the ship in the back, it stays there. But it's like it varies whether you have it or you don't. It just depends. I don't.
Yeah, and the thing that I've noticed is the fact that I see a lot of bases at this, or a lot of these targets at this point, which is annoying.
I haven't seen any incomplete.
Oh, no, not in my sector.
I got one swiped from me while I was testing, but no big deal.
That's what I try to do there. Try to split them all up and charge into the line, kill the core saber, split them all up.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more split up than this even.
Yeah, here you go.
I'm thinking you're still at 7.5 to 8 minutes.
No,
if not more.
I'm thinking more.
Yeah, I'm thinking more as well. Yeah.
I don't have a target available. Yeah.
There's only penetrative damage.
There's one now.
23.
Yep.
What's going on, Derpy? You getting old?
I don't have armor.
What?
I don't have armor on. You put on 6 missile armor, so you'll cut that time in half.
I cut it down to way lower than that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I messed up, took a shot. Maybe got unlucky and got hit by another one that I shouldn't have on the last one.
No, it's all good. I'm just, No,
What's it?
Because with my FM tokens, there was no... I had to put missile armor on to spend the tokens.
Okay. You can try it again if you want. Don't have to. It's up to you.
Okay. All right.
Because it found there is a target there.
All right. We'll go back to Magic Mike and see if there's any lessons learned.
Well, I'm going to try it with the arrow S key. Arrow S button, arrow S button, arrow S button.
Yeah. And after they group up, you need to look as far as because that's like the panic, not really the panic time, but the time that you need to disperse them is like if you look at the gore saber and like, oh, it's about to die, then you start sending them out in different directions, but all within the range of the missile, of that missile.
Yeah.
So
Now, see that slowdown aura, I think, is an HTML5 visual thing still.
the other thing that I found interesting with these blue, auras, they also seem to get rid of the Cheetos, the cheese balls. Have you run across that?
The who?
The
Cheese balls.
the cheese balls. If the cheese
I
ball,
thought I had noticed my anti-mortar shooting at this.
Most of them do.
no. But what I'm saying is, once they land on the water and you have the flames on the
They
water,
extinguish fire fields?
that's what I saw earlier today. I'm not sure. I can't repeat it every time. But I did have a point where the fire fields went away after.
Hold on. Before you launch that, check to see if the other brimstone's actually showing right now. The arc on the other brimstone.
It doesn't appear to be.
It's not. Okay.
So if I click it and press the down arrow key, I did. So it's showing now because I clicked it and pressed the down arrow key.
Yeah.
I
don't want to mess you up.
I think I'm okay now. I just
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Come on.
Okay, you're racing straight at it. Does that work? Yeah, that works. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Right. You say you go for this vulture?
Yeah, I move more to the right, so I tuck myself in, turn right here, or stay right there, and it will, because it was being blocked by the mountain at that point.
I think it countered most all those. I might get the odd one come through. I lost the ring. So let's get the ring back again.
And here, as soon as I pass that second, so right now, see how you're being debuffed on your orange thing on your ship? That's the HTML5 thing. That didn't go away, the entire target.
Right. It did not.
But at this point, I try and stay as close to the right side of the target as I can around the second ice field, so I don't get that oil rig.
I've actually gone through these darn things before.
Yeah, that can work too.
I just aim at the ship and go right through it because I'm blocking all the.
Okay. I didn't know.
But just make sure you don't get a shot or two off on that left oil rig, the yellow oil rig.
No, that was a senior moment. Let me say. Because what I usually do now is come down here and come up from behind it.
Huh, I don't.
There you got the vulture shooting at you, though.
Yeah, no, I just go straight across and keep the mountains in my way. And then I keep on moving until I keep the mountains are...
Yeah, and then I target this guy.
Okay. Just don't get out of range. There we go.
Yeah, you need to be a little bit more careful if your damage or your spread is a little bit different. Just make sure you kill the back line.
So what if I jump out and see if I made any mistakes? Oh, no, I think there's a little red there.
And that's probably from a vulture.
Let's just see. You want to check it or no?
Well, it looks like you took damage, so...
I'd stay in the whole thing, but...
Okay. I was just going to be interested to see how much.
Well, I'm more curious to see what type. I'm assuming it's penetrative damage, right?
That would have to be, right?
This is some point you got too close to something. I'm assuming it's penetrative.
I did take
explosive damage.
Yeah.
So you got too close to a ship.
Interesting. Wonder which one.
I think a mortar got unlucky on a mortar and a mortar got through.
Okay.
I never have that happen, and I don't have the projectile speed. He's gone with your build with the subaquatic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just getting unlucky versus being lucky there.
Because I unless I get too close to a ship, I never get explosive damage.
I've run it many times, 4 or 5 times without taking any damage at all. At this point, to this point, not a single second of damage.
Yeah, but the explosive damage is telling.
Mm-hmm.
That something is. I don't think. I mean, I've hit so many of these targets, and I don't get explosive damage.
Okay.
And I have less. I have less projectile speed than you guys do because I don't use the subaquatic. So,
Okay. Right arrow S, right arrow S, right arrow S. Right?
well, yeah, select one.
I did. Well, I think.
And then push the S button. Wait 1 second, and then do the rest of them pretty fast. And then once they all group up, oh yeah, okay. Once they all group up, and it appears that this is
I
about
would
to
split them right now. I would have moved that first one out.
Now move them right, left.
You took 2 shots.
No, not keeping them stacked. Okay,
I can't do it. I just can't do it. I took a lot of damage that time.
but it's just using the right arrow. Just using the right arrow is.
Yeah. I understand the concept.
Yeah.
I just couldn't seem to pull it off. Oh no. Okay. I was going to see how much damage and I hit recall.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's going to be over 20 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. So at this point in time, is there anything else that we should be discussing?
Should we run through a 97 Kickside employee real quick?
Yeah, if you want to. All right, we'll swap over to you.
Then I don't have to embarrass myself anymore.
Hardest part is probably finding the thing.
How much damage did you take?
17:22.
Okay.
17 minutes 22 seconds.
All right.
I mean, it's like okay, but it's not map repair.
No, it's not.
It's not. I can't do what you did. I just can't.
No, a little practice, you can figure it out.
By the time you have it down, the target won't be in the game anymore.
Well,
if it takes them a couple of weeks,
I'm okay with this. This is fine. It's because I always go back to the base anyway and collect the. Well, there's no reason to if you're full, but sometimes I need res. So
okay.
I should look for one first. Yeah, it's not my idea of fun to go across the map searching for a target to hit 50 times, the same one.
No.
A lot of damaged 93s out here. That's Braden's. Apparently, it's a hard one, and 112 probably still have Centaur. Come on.
Does anybody else out there have any questions? If not,
why do we need to get 141,000 points this bounty? That's my question.
Yeah, it's a new. That is the new thing.
And that's just for the ship and the weapon.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like in FM there's anything all that
So
high.
you need to get those armors because
As long as you have 10 total of each, you're probably okay. I guess that's what I would say.
20. Yeah, 20. Yeah, if we assume that there's 4 armor slots per ship, so that's that makes sense. I would go a little higher just because you don't know if you want to put
3 of one type or
yeah
something like that.
Yeah, give yourself a little slush fund of a couple.
Well, and they're both going to be in the FM next month, and
Y2M, Y20.
so where did all the 97s go?
Yeah, I only got 4 of those things. So yep, I guess there's a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Oh, that's damaged. We placing bets on how long it takes?
For you to find a target? I don't know. I'm not sure that's because I gotta watch my playoff games at some point soon. So let's see, 93. I mean, yeah, and it goes back to Greg's talking about the spawn rate of the 160s. I was towards the end today, because I lost internet. You guys heard about it, so I've been a little back and forth as far as playing the game and whatnot. And it was so ridiculous as far as I'm trying to okay, I need to hit 4 more 160s. The first 3, I was beat to the target, and I wasn't even, I didn't even get in. I was sitting there and oh, okay, it's lit up. Oh, that's not me. Which was, just frustrating at that point in time. Even though I traveled 38 seconds to 43 seconds to each target.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
I'm entering from the top right side. That's northeast corner, and I do have a speed crew on because that does help. I'm going to move forward immediately because you're already being shot at by the Overlord carrier, and you don't want those fire fields to stay on you. I'm going to kill the gate here and run away, hide in the corner. Now the Piranhas are going to come after me. I'm going to try and split off his ship so it's being shot at by one and another ship that's being shot at by the other. Doesn't always work here. See, that time they're both shooting at the same thing. The idea is to kill the Piranha outside outside everything, so it's away and you don't have to deal with being shot up by anything else.
Are you going to retreat after this?
Yeah, because the debuffs do not stay.
Mm-hmm.
If you... Now I'm taking damage right here, so I would want this one to go away, but I started taking damage, retreated. Should still be instant easily. You might have to do this twice if you have the same 2 piranhas targeting one ship, if you can't kill them quite fast enough, and you don't have a ballistic plate on your fleet. And that was instant repair, so there we go. And this retreating is because the piranha debuffs you, but those debuffs reset once you exit. And I don't want to mess with it. So now I'm going to move backward away here because you're still getting shot at by the very fast Overlord shard here. And wait for those things and kill them again. Some people are just having luck with clicking the back of the base and moving there. And ignoring these things until you kill the Overlord first. I like to kill them first. So there you go, one's down. And I'm trying to stay in the firing angle too. So there's the second one down. I'm going to retreat so the debuff goes away. Shouldn't need to do any repairing. Actually, might need to do it. There's 2 seconds of damage on there. And then come back in again with the speed group buff. Usually, you can get this down to 2 hits instead of 3.
Why do you have to click so many times on attack?
Because my fleet's still repairing.
Okay.
I don't want someone to come steal it.
Well, but because you could also right click on your mouse, right? Instead of doing that.
Yeah, I just wanted to. It's a habit.
Okay.
So now I'm charging directly in here and stacking up, keep moving. Select this portal and move off to the right so you're not in the slowdown field. Once you're through here, I like to click on the gatekeeper, the first one, start shooting at that, and get through these 2 decimators quickly. I think 2 there might be new from last time, and kill the second gatekeeper right here. At this point, there's no heavy turret shooting at you, and you're inside the minimum range of the Overlord, so you can sit there and kill that. And the only damage I've taken is a little bit on the back 4 from some of these heavier turrets, and then the Decimator's got a few shots off on ship number 1. So everything's down here. And that might be 6 minutes repair on that first one. Might be instant. Not really sure.
Okay, so now shouldn't he kill that okay, these mortars coming in are not doing any damage, right?
Correct.
Okay. It's just, just making sure.
They don't break your deflection, so.
Okay.
Then you split ships up to go kill everything. And there's the target. Just do that 50 times and you're done with bounty. Which is a boring way to play the game, but there you go. You can coin 2 hours repair per 112 if you want to.
Okay.
If you're lucky, it's map repair. Actually, that's not map repair at all, but there you go. And here's the build.
Okay. Yeah, that is not map repair.
No.
So, all right. I put the link in case anybody would like to join the show. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? I mean, it's been it feels like a long show because so much shit has been, fucked up as far as what we expect to win and whatnot. It feels long for me personally.
My final piece of advice is upgrade your flagship Gladius. And would you look at that? I forgot to activate bounty before I hit the target, so I didn't get any points.
Oh,
Wow.
you did Mike.
And if last time I had that happen, I hit like 6 of them, spent 25 coin, and submitted a ticket. They said, "Fuck you, you're out of luck."
Hey, well, there's a chance that you and Mike might be he might be your daddy.
I don't know about that.
You never spent any time in
Never
Oregon?
been in Oregon, I don't think. Just
Okay.
for any length of time, but I guess it only takes a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, only a couple minutes. Oh, and you have to upgrade your bounty too. Don't forget that. Opt in the bounty. Don't read the stats on the Harrower because you'll confuse yourself, and Kickside doesn't do a good job of telling players how their game works.
Yeah. I mean, that is the takeaway. I like to have a better takeaway from the shows than this is we still don't know what's going on. I mean, it did help when CMG League gave some more advice on the wrecking ball, but there's still
why can the information not be released at the time the whole comes out and in the stat block and on forums?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm asking the wrong person here.
Yeah, because there's honestly, you're asking the wrong person because why can't they also at times get the number of weeks in a month correct?
That's a good question.
That's another question that Some people might ask themselves, but it's probably not something that everybody wants to talk about. So, all right, I put a link in the right-hand side in case somebody likes to join the after show. I'm personally going to start watching the NBA game, so I'll be back and forth on the after show. And I wish everybody the best of luck in both the FM and in Bounty. And we'll be back again Friday, and hopefully we'll have clarification on what's actually going on here, because it's beyond the normal sort of like, oh, okay, because I fuck stuff up. It's sort of beyond that at this point in time, at least in my opinion.
Didn't we have a Four Tops song or something? What's going on? What's going on? Okay.
That's Marvin Gaye. That's not for Tops.
Marvin Gaye. Okay. See, I knew you'd know. That was a test. That was just a test.
Yeah. Okay. All righty.
Maybe you can play that as the intro.
Yeah, except for there were charges for that.
Oh.
But alrighty. I don't think they're going to charge you for your version of that. But yeah. But
why is this Everest dead?
Yeah,
that's
why
HTML5.
That's never happened before.
That's HTML5. Close it.
Yeah. Those. Oh, okay. So now it's
try and launch it. You might get a SOS.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be alive. But you shut up as dead. I don't know why.
Mm-hmm. It's HTML5.
Alrighty. So
that's one of the other issues. So how many days is the U3 upgrade for the Gladius? Do you know? The flag.
It's
8 days, 16 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, if you have max labs.
9 days. Okay. Roughly 9 days. Okay. Because mine's coming out pretty quick here, and I just want to know. I'm just going to stick it back in.
Ooh. Okay. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for showing up, and both on chat and on the show. And we'll be back in a couple of days, and hope like I said, hopefully everything gets ironed out as far as what's going on with the game and what prizes you're going to earn or get, or however you want to put that, and what stats they have, because it's been a little bit confusing today as far as what's going on. But again, I appreciate everybody showing up. So
fun. Yep. All good.
All righty. Okay. Well, we'll talk to you all. We'll talk to you all then. Later, people.
Take care.